Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I am George. We're all George. So today, Bitcoin is having a little bit more weakness once again. We're getting a lot of volatility, but I'm here to tell you when the exact point will occur when Bitcoin goes parabolic. So let's talk about these things. Let's talk about the weakness. Who's selling? Are we going to bounce up? And when is Bitcoin going to go parabolic? All right, let's do it. Welcome, guys. Hopefully you guys are hanging in there. We are seeing exactly what we saw yesterday. Yesterday morning, we started out hot. Bitcoin pumped up to 53,000, then went down to as low as 50,700. Then by the nighttime when I streamed, it went right back to 52.5. And then now we're back to around 51. All right, so we're starting to see some volatility, okay? And remember, I've said, as we enter this parabolic bull run, we are going to see more volatility. But right now, we're seeing a very, very little volatility versus prior times, okay? Past cycles, we have seen 20, 25, 30, 35% dips, only to recover shortly afterwards. Right now, we're seeing a little bit of that. Now, if you're wondering why we're getting volatility, because we're getting closer and closer to that parabolic stage, okay? There is one exact point that Bitcoin needs to break before going parabolic. But until then, the bears will do what they can to keep us down, right? And there's a few things that's happening right now that are trying to keep Bitcoin down. Number one, the U.S. market overall is looking a little bit weaker. And today, everyone is looking at NVIDIA's earnings. People want to know. It seems like no one cares about Apple and Microsoft anymore leading the way, or Meta, or anyone else. Everyone is just concentrating on NVIDIA. How are they going to do? It's going to be a judge of the economy. I don't think it's a really good judge of the economy, but there's a lot of eyes on NVIDIA, wondering if they're going to have a spectacular report once again or come in a little softer, and then that may send Wall Street hurling down, right? Because Wall Street has been a little bit overheated. So this could have something to do with what's going on with Bitcoin today. Or it could simply be because Bitcoin has come up so much that it just needs a breather. 4 straight weeks of ups and ups and ups and up, and we have gone up 40% basically, and maybe it's time for a red week. From a technical standpoint, that makes sense. Bitcoin can't go up forever. There will be points where it just needs to stop and consolidate. So maybe from a technical standpoint, that explains it. That maybe Bitcoin just needs to take a breather. But there is one other theory that's going around. And I've been thinking about this ever since it was approved. But I figured, the ETFs will just soak it up. This is also something that may be holding Bitcoin back. Genesis, one of the companies under DCG, right? Their sister company of Grayscale. I don't believe they're around anymore. I think they've been dissolved, or they will be dissolved. But they were the lending arm behind Gemini Earn, and they had a lot of institutional customers. But anyways, they have to sell 1.6 billion in Grayscale shares, okay, in order to repay what they owe. So maybe this has something to do with it too. This came out last week. This was approved last week. Now, since then, the ETFs have been eating up everything. And they still are eating up everything. But I'm wondering if they're escalating their selling for some reason, right? Like yesterday and today, we saw random, big dips out of nowhere. Could be related. I don't see any specific charts that actually show this other than Grayscale still selling. But I think there's something else that someone's not measuring that may be related to this. So we have three things that may be holding Bitcoin back, or all three are holding Bitcoin back. You got Genesis that's about to sell large amounts of Bitcoin. You have the overall market maybe thinking about taking a breather because of Nvidia, or maybe Bitcoin is just a little bit too hot and needs to cool down. But what does this mean for you and me and everyone else? Does that mean Bitcoin is not going to go up anymore? Did Bitcoin top out? Did Bitcoin end its cycle already? And should you be selling at this point? The answer is no, 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 and no. Fundamentally, nothing has changed. The supply shock I've been talking about still exists. Okay? And that one magical point, the one level that Bitcoin needs to break before it goes parabolic, and that is very soon, is the line that I've been showing you guys all along, this red line, which is around 52,350. You know how we haven't been able to break through it? There's a reason for that. And today, someone else did some research and looked at it. There is 1 billion shorts, okay, $1 billion worth of shorts positioned above 52.4, which is that right around that mark, right? So this is kind of like the last stand for the bears, for the naysayers, okay? This is, they know, and I know, and I've said this, Bitcoin, if you go back in history, has not been above that line for very long. I have to zoom in here. Look at all, I mean, there's no point of having these lines anymore. Like we're like way above here. But take a look. We're at this line right here. I'll just remove this line. That's the final barrier, guys. There's not anything really above it. We stayed above just a few months, and that's it. That's why this level is so important. Because, quite frankly, afterwards, we're going to hit unknown territory very soon. That's why after we broke it last time in 2021, both times, we had a dip and so forth, but both times we hit 60,000 like right away. This time around, it'll be no different. After we break through, we will hit 60,000 in no time. And afterwards, we'll break 69,000, head into 70,000 unknown territory. That's why this level is so important, right? And again, if you're zoomed out, when in doubt, zoom out. When you zoom out and you look at the weekly scale, yeah, we've been coming up a lot, guys. We've been coming up a lot. And this doesn't even count as negative weeks. This is just going sideways, right? So those of you guys that are fearful may want to step back and zoom out a little bit. But know that that point is a very crucial point to break. And if we do break through it, and we will, when we do, we will get massive short squeezes. We're going to get so many shorts wrecked, and it's going to cause us to pump up to new heights, okay? That's coming. That is coming. So don't let anything from now till then scare you out of the market, because you will regret it. Once Bitcoin breaks through this next level, we will be in 60s and 70s in no time. And we're not even halfway through the year. And you will sit there and really regret it if you get scared out right now. Okay, so don't let that happen. But that is exactly what we need to break. And in the meantime, the supply shock, did it go away? The answer is no. Look at the latest numbers. We're still getting hundreds of millions of dollars flowing into the ETFs. Yes, it slowed down a little bit yesterday, but overall, we still had a net positive of like $250 million, I believe, yesterday. These guys are not done accumulating. They will continue to accumulate. And they have accumulated so much already that it's alarming. They're accumulating at an alarming rate. Okay, and we definitely don't want to let all the Bitcoin be held by just the select few, just a few funds, right? We don't want that to happen, but it's happening right in front of our eyes. So that's why I said, make sure you load up, stock up, DCA, whatever you're doing, continue to do so. Don't let these big boys steal away your life-changing wealth. Okay, that's the bottom line. Coinbase is also saying that, I mean, Coinbase will know. Brian Armstrong would know because basically they're the custodian for everyone. Every institution is starting to hold crypto. The 90% of the 36 billion in ETF assets are held by Coinbase custody. So it shows you how much they actually hold, how much control they have in the space. And their OTC market, even though it's vast, it's shrinking very, very quickly indeed. So you don't want, again, to let all the big boys take away all of your Bitcoin. You don't want that to happen, okay? And as for the fundamentals of Bitcoin, I always mention the fundamentals. Nothing has changed. All-time highs, in fact. Exchange balances lowest since 2018. You know, I just covered one that was the lowest 2015, so I don't know where they're getting their data from, but it's going down. It's going down really quick, and that's because short-term holders are now increasing. 450,000 Bitcoin acquired by short-term holders since December. Now, I got to think that large portion of that is from the institutions, but still, 500,000 Bitcoin acquired since December. That's less than 3 months. That's a huge amount of supply being removed from the space. And the supply being held by for over 1 year, all-time high. And if I had one showing 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, all-time high. These are all fantastic metrics that show Bitcoin holders are stronger than ever. Bitcoin's network itself is stronger than ever. And again, the fundamentals are basically all-time high for almost everything that you can measure, besides price. That's the thing, and that's the exciting thing. Price is lagging the great fundamentals, but once it catches up, that's when it's going to be explosive. Accumulation addresses have reached all-time high, 25,300 Bitcoin. No, that's awesome, right? We still have large amounts of Tether being minted. Seems like every single week or every single day. I don't look at it often, but yeah, that's still happening. And why do you think that's happening? That's not from retail investors. That's not me calling up Tether like, hey, I just want $1 billion USDT for free. No, that's not how it works. That means someone put in $1 billion, right? So again, so much buying, guys. So much buying. My mission is to make sure that you guys understand that a supply shock is happening. There's only so many Bitcoin to go around. And you can't print infinite amount of Bitcoin like you can with dollars or euros or yen or whatever fiat that you may be holding. Bitcoin is different. It's an asset class that's like none other. And you definitely don't want to let this slip by you, right? Even though we may have some volatility. But, you know, again, on a grand scheme of things, I don't want to make it so dire like the world is falling. But, you know, a lot of you guys are new. But when you put this in perspective, the dip that we're having today is like 3% or something, okay? This is nothing compared to what we just lived through in 2022 and 2023. And it's the same thing in 2018 and 2019 and 2020 and all the years that we have gone through over the years, right? But I'm just letting you guys know we're right at the cusp of that parabolic move that we're waiting for. As great as it's been, it's going to get even better, way bigger. So don't let these small little dips or volatility scare you out. You will regret it. Okay, so like this. Don't let the bears, don't let the FUD scare you out, right? You don't want to fall for the FUD. Here's a long-term scale. Looks pretty good. When in doubt, zoom out, right? Don't let the FUD scare you out of the market. It's that simple. And you know, the funny thing is, by the time we hit tonight, we could be back above 52.3 again. That's the funny thing. Even though we have come down this morning, there's a great chance we just bounce right back up to 52.3 because these ETFs, I'm telling you, they will not stop buying. These institutions that are buying these shares, they're not going to stop buying, right? So again, don't let these guys fear you out. All right, outside of Bitcoin, a few little news. Brad Garlinghouse says Ripple will welcome XRP ETFs. Fat chance, not going to happen anytime soon. They need to end their lawsuit first before anyone will consider this. The next ETF will obviously be ETH. We're going to get spot ETFs for Ethereum, and then maybe XRP. That'll probably come like way later, but of course they're going to welcome it. Of course Brad is going to welcome it, and Ripple's going to welcome it because they hold like 50% of supply. Why wouldn't they welcome it? And then lastly, this is kind of a little concerning, and I'm going to put two and two together. Circle, I mean, most of you guys are using USDT, I know that, but USDC, they had a black eye because they associate with like Silver Bank, what's it, Silver Lake Bank or Silver Bank or whatever, and they went under, but they got their money back. But Circle is based in the U.S., or USDC is minted by Circle, who is in the U.S., and Coinbase supports them, and so does BlackRock. So USDC, I would say, is still more legitimate, more trustworthy, although most people have converted to USDT. But USDC is effectively pulling out of the Tron ecosystem. Okay. And it makes you wonder why all of a sudden they would do that. And now there's rumors swirling that maybe the U.S. is preparing a sanction against Tron and Justin Sun. And I've always said this. I don't trust Justin Sun. I don't trust Tron or any of the projects associated with Tron. And the reason being because I've lived through 2017. I saw Tron go from nothing to somebody, and then I saw Justin Sun make one move after another that were all blunders and highly questionable. So that's why whenever I show you guys DeFi Llama, I show you TVL, I always say skip over Tron because this is not right. They're not number two. Whatever numbers are inflated and it's not right. But the concerning thing is, in terms of the other stablecoin, USDT, if you look at their treasury, there's more USDT launched or minted on Tron than even Ethereum. 51.8 billion versus 45 billion, right? There's no way in hell you can convince me that there's more activity on Tron versus Ethereum, and there's a need for more liquidity on Tron versus Ethereum. That's very concerning. That's very, very concerning. So hopefully this ends up being a nothing burger, but I've always said I don't trust Tron or Justin Sun, and I'd never meet anyone ever that say, oh yeah, I love Tron and I'm using Tron and I'm making like projects within Tron, I'm making big money with Tron. Like no one ever has ever said that to me. So whatever numbers that they have is highly questionable. So just be careful with that. All right, let's do some Q&A. Look at this, CMC Crypto Awards. I think I may be nominated in here. I remember They reached out to me about something. I don't know what category I'm in. Maybe a social influencer to watch. Oh, there we go. You see? I'm in here. Competing with Look On Chain, Zach XBT. He's going to be hard to beat. Wendy and the DeFi Edge. Well, oh, that's it. There's only like 4. I think Zach XBT is probably going to win, but it's okay. I don't need to win that. All right. Let's see. Let's see what I missed. Scrolling up. Any update on Gemini Earn? When will they be paying people back? I guess when they conclude and sell their 1.6 billion. That's probably when. I have no idea. I haven't heard anything else. Today is my favorite day, DCA day. Tonight, that is right. Where can we stream the crypto boxing fight? It's not boxing, man. It's MMA, Alex. It's going to be on Cryptos R Us Plus this Friday. And Crotty's, their own site, crotty.com. And they have their YouTube channel. But I'll stream it on Cryptos R Us Plus so you guys can watch it, everything. Joke HGD Leon. I'm 30K in credit card debt. Should I put most in BTC instead? Well, the honest truth is, if you have 30K in credit card debt, you should not be investing in Bitcoin. You should not be investing at all. What you should do is trying to figure out how to pay back that 30K ASAP. Okay? You can't have 30K credit card debt, especially credit card debt, because you are going to get killed with the interest fees. And it puts so much pressure on your investments because it's going to make you be more risky with your investments and could cause you to lose even more money. So don't do it. Try to figure out, come up with a plan, how to repay back the 30K first, then invest. Crypto Sniper Gaming expecting ETH to take off after hitting 3K. Well, it did hit 3K. Wow, they took a big dip. They were still at like 3K last night. Oh, again, Bitcoin fell down. But like I said, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised at all if Bitcoin is back above 52,000 by tonight. It would not be a surprise at all. But maybe we don't. Maybe. I don't want to say that if for sure it will. Maybe we do have a little breather. Maybe this is the red week before we have 4 more consecutive green weeks, right? Sometimes that happens. But I think it has to do with Genesis. I just can't prove it, but I think it has something to do with it. Starknet. I think they're gonna probably go die. Lazaro, they're not doing well because of their botched airdrop. They lost a lot of fans. 5K viewers on a down day. Well, that's probably because a lot of people are fearful, but there's no reason to be fearful. There's 0 reasons to be fearful. Simran, will TWC in Orlando be valued to a crypto OG? I don't know. If you consider yourself an OG, I don't know what you're looking for. That's the thing. I think you could still meet some people that you may want to meet, like project leaders. There will be a lot there, so that may be of interest. meeting some of your, favorite influencers, maybe that's of interest. But I don't know if the projects are going to give you like so much info that OG would, enjoy. Maybe, maybe not. Good morning, Jordan. I own several mining stocks. Given that their profit margin would be cut in half, would you sell them before that event? Well, I mean, here's the thing. Yes and no, because the profit margin would cut in half, but they're still the miners. They're still the only miners in town. It's not like mining companies are blowing up or there's like new ones added every day. No, it's hard to get into mining to be able to compete effectively because you need that infrastructure and the equipment. So they're still gonna be the only. It's like let's say we get down to the last 10 years of drilling oil. Even though they can't drill as much, but they're still the only drillers in town. It's the same thing with these mining companies. So I don't think they're going to significantly their price of their stock will decrease, especially when the price of Bitcoin keeps on increasing. It's going to more than make up for that. Is AI Sora the same Sora as what we talked about before? No, they are not. Can I get some cream for these crusted XRP hands? Marcel, if you're an XRP holder, congrats, man. You probably have the most diamond crusted hands on the planet. So, congrats. Cristiano, how do I cope with holding cash but feeling like I should be all in? You never feel like you have enough. That is true. Okay, but again, you don't, if you have too much cash, like I would say 20, 25, 30% cash is a good percentage. And if you're like holding like 80% cash, okay, then maybe you could be a little bit more aggressive. But if you're holding 20, 25, 30%, maybe even a little bit higher, it's okay. You could just let things play it out and then, and decide, right? Maybe on a day like today or yesterday, you could dollar cost average in a little bit. You could just buy the dips, or you could set a schedule and just put a little bit for every schedule. It's up to you. It's up to you. There's really no right or wrong. Pepe is asking, what to do with 5K? If you have no crypto, you always have to start with Bitcoin. I don't care. I don't care if you think Bitcoin is too high. Just start with Bitcoin, man. I would say, start with Bitcoin, then learn about everything else. Learn about Ethereum, and then learn about Solana, learn about Cardano, learn about Avalanche. These are like the big boys. Start with these first, and then listen to me and start paying attention to the other alts out there. Kevin Richardson, I don't know much about Medicaid, but I do know about Star Atlas, and I've given up on them. They were very hyped up in 2021, being one of the first games, like major games, and they never finished. So, like, I just gave up on them. I don't know what Medicaid is. I mean, it's a game, but I don't know much about them. Key Jenkins, welcome. Any fundamental changes in Chainlink? Yes, it's stronger now. It's stronger now than ever before. Will Bitcoin ever drop below 30K again? I would say no. At this point, I just don't see it happening, but I guess anything could happen. If I was going to give it a percentage, I would say 99% no, 1% chance yes. Do you think 11K ETH is a little ambitious of a prediction? No, I think ETH will end up between. I think ETH will end up probably around like 13 to 15,000 by the end of this cycle, and that may be conservative. It could go up more than that, but I'd say that's about right. I think last cycle, unfortunately, a lot of people like Raul Paul and even myself, we were a little bit too bullish on ETH. Calling ETH, 30,000 ETH or whatever. This time around, I don't think it's going to go 30,000, but I do think we will be definitely in the 5 digits for sure. I think ETH could definitely be at 10,000 even in short order and probably end up, 13, 15,000 by the end of this cycle. Crypto Meme says, I will go get a low interest loan if it drops below 30K. Man, that's the thing. I normally say never get a loan, never go all in, or be too leveraged when you're buying Bitcoin, right? But man, if Bitcoin does go below 30K, somehow there's a random freak drop or something like that, that would be the time to pounce. Basically go all in on it. But, then again, if we do have that happen, there will be so many people that will be so scared, there'll be very little people taking advantage of it. I mean, it could do that in next bear, right? I don't think so. That's the thing. All right, let's do some charting here. If you look at some of our previous dips, right, from top to bottom. So from our 69,000 all the way 15 is about 77%. If you look at the 20,000 all the way down to 3,100, that was about 85%, right? So this time around, probably if we follow the same cycle and we come down, maybe it'll be like 70%, 65%, but there's no guarantee. But let's just say this. Let's say Bitcoin goes up to, let's just say 250,000. Okay, how do I draw here? I'm gonna draw. Let's just say we're going to do this, and then we're gonna go something like this, and then we're gonna go like this. Okay, and then let's just say we end up 250,000 by December 2025. Okay, let's say December 2025, I'm streaming, Bitcoin's at 250,000. And let's say we do go down from this point, 250,000, down even 75%. We would still be at 62,000. So are we going to be below 30,000 ever again? I just don't see it. That's if we go down 75% from 250,000, right? I mean, how far will we have to drop to get to 30,000? We have to go down 88% from top at 250,000 to be 30,000. That's just not reasonable. That's not going to happen. So, yeah, we may never see below 30,000 again. I don't even think this cycle we're going to have a 75% drop. I'd say conservatively, we're probably going to have a 70% drop or even a 60% drop. If we have a 60% drop from top, that's still at 100,000, guys. That shows you how high things are going to. I mean, it even makes sense. Even if you chart it from the very beginning. if you do a trend line from our bottom points, right? Okay, so that's the bottom. 3,100, here's the 3,800, here's the 15,000, right? You do a trend line, and it's going to be somewhere around there. Yeah, see, that's like that's like around right around 100,000. You do a trend line from the top, again, that's pretty close. That's pretty close. Let's just do it like this, right? So that's not, again, even we're just following the trend. We're in this channel. Hitting 250,000 is within reason. And if you go down, probably over there, that's showing 100,000 being our bottom of the next cycle. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. So again, we're very early still. We have not gotten to the parabolic bull run yet. And when we hit it, it's going to get crazy. And even when we come down from it, it's going to be better than where we are now. So if you think about that, it's kind of crazy to think, right? Now, there's a chance you could argue, well, maybe we don't go to 250,000. Maybe we go to, like, I don't know, let's just say 150,000. Let's say we don't go crazy. We go 150,000, right? Then we take that, we go from 150,000, you know, and you go down 50%, and then you're still at 69,000. But let's say we go down 70%. 70% from 150,000, we're still sitting at 48,000. We're still not going to 30,000. Let's move it more accurately. Yeah, 45,000. That's where it'll be. If we fall down 70% from 150,000, then we'll be at 45,000. That I could see. That could be possible. Let's see. I missed some super chats. Any price predictions for IMX? No, Pat. No, it's just gonna go higher. It's just gonna go higher. Jasmine coin, it's a quantum leap out of nowhere. I've always ignored Jasmine because when it debuted, there was too many shillers on the channel trying to shill it, so I've always ignored them. So honestly, I don't know what quantum leap you're talking about. Fundmaster B, I hold 8 cryptos, up 275% over the last 2 years. Congratulations. One of them is XRP, my worst performer, but at this point, it makes sense to me to keep it. Well, that seems like a statement. It's not a question, so okay, if you want to keep it, keep it. You know, maybe it does something different this cycle. Or maybe it continues to not do anything. NMCT, is it possible E to do 5x? I mean, it's still possible. Keep in mind, Ethereum ETFs may be coming. Look at what it has done for Bitcoin. It could do the same thing for ETH. So it could. It could do a 5x from here. Like I said, I think it could end this cycle 13 to 15K, right? And that's a conservative like 5x for Ethereum. But does that mean others can do better and do 10x, 15x, 20x? Yes, they can. Do I play Call of Duty? I used to, not anymore. The only game I play is NBA 2K24. And even that I don't play a lot of. Only when people come over. I'm selling my 2006 Audi for 1K. You want it? Which Audi? What? A4? If it's A4, no thanks. Well, I mean for 1K, sure. I'll start a dealership. People that want to sell me their used beater cars for crypto, and then I'll resell them. If I had an infinite lot or land that I could actually store the cars, that wouldn't be a bad idea, but I don't. When altcoins pump, you know when it's going to pump? Like right here. Right here. This point right here. Like midway to the top in 2025 is when altcoin season hits. And it tops out usually right around the back end here, the last few weeks of this is when things get really nutty. Like within a matter of a week, you have coins doubling and tripling, okay? That is when you know a top is coming. When you hold on to something and you see it double within a matter of days, okay, and then double some more in a couple more days, that's when you know like the top is coming. A6 Quattro, oh, that makes a lot of sense. You know, those A6s, they had a really troublesome, like, engine. The old Audis I would not touch. Like, the newer ones are okay. The old ones, horrible reliability. Start online place or DEX for cars. You have trading pairs of cars of... Like, you can pair Toyotas with Hondas and stuff. Oh, that would be nuts. If U.S. sanctions Justin Sun and Tron could affect Tether, would that crash the market? Well, it depends. If they go after them, Tron will crash. I don't know if it's going to cause Tether to crash. Unless, you know, unless Tron already like wasted its 51.8 billion and it causes Tether to crash, then it causes the entire market to crash. I'm hoping that people at Tether are already preparing for that. There's like a contingency plan because there's no way in hell Tron should have more USDT on it than Ethereum. There's zero reasons why. And whatever reasons Justin Sun can give is not good one. So I'm hoping Tether is smart enough at this point in time to be preparing for the worst. Can you explain market cap circulating supply for AVAX, trying to figure out possible all-time high for this year? Radax, there's no like there's no scientific way to make 100% accurate prediction about Avalanche. The only thing you can look at, there's two things. Don't worry about anything else. Just look at where it was before. Okay, so it was about 100 and what? 100 no, 13. No, wait, here we go. $134, right? What is that approximately? 4x from here, that's 400. That's to get back to previous high. So at a minimum, a project like Avalanche would do a 4x from here. But that's just getting back to the previous high. What about afterwards, right? Can Avalanche do another 2x or 3x? I would say certainly. So you do a 3x on top of a 4x, you're talking about a 12x already. So I think Avalanche can do a 10x, can maybe possibly do a 15x from its current level. Maybe even more. That's how I look at it, okay? Everything else, you don't know. I mean, of course, it could not do a 12 to 15x if Avalanche starts getting weaker because they're not onboarding the number of users or games that they're supposed to and others dominate. That can happen. But Avalanche is one of the big boys, so I don't think they're just going to let others run them down. What makes better sense, 1,000 in XRP or SHIB? Neither. If you had $1,000 and you're asking me, I want to invest either in XRP or SHIB, I would say don't. Why? Why would you do that? Go put it in something better. You can put it in Bitcoin or Sol. If you think they're too slow moving, okay, then put in the Solana or Avalanche or Chainlink. I mean, those are all fantastic. Immutable is fantastic. Stacks is fantastic. Optimism, Arbitrum, Injective, VeChain, Celestia, all fantastic. There's so many selections. Why would you limit yourself to SHIB or XRP? What do you see Sui doing? I think they're going to do very well. Their TVL is growing by leaps and bounds right now, and that's very important. Limitless Adventures. Appreciate all the information you provide. IMX has been my best runner, and that's thanks to you. You're welcome. And, it's really on you. I only cover stuff. It's up to you to take advantage of it. So congratulations. There are so many great projects out there, but you should never ignore Bitcoin either. So that's why I've always said 50, 25, 25. 50% in Bitcoin, 25% in big caps, 25% in anything else. And anything else can carry a portfolio like crazy in a parabolic bull run. So 25% in big caps will also carry a portfolio. They will all do well too and provide some stability. This cycle, we have seen the big caps hold really well. And then, of course, Bitcoin provides the ultimate security and stability and growth too. So it's a really good, allocation, I would say. Tove the Crypt, appreciate that. All right, guys. To conclude, well, that looks pretty good. Do you even notice the dip when you zoom out on a weekly scale? I can't even see it. But you know what, guys? Don't let these dips scare you out, okay? Because this is what's coming. And that's a conservative, in my opinion, and conservative estimation that this cycle, Bitcoin only goes to 150,000. I think it's going to go a lot more than that. But you know what? That is what we have to look forward to. Bitcoin breaking to new highs and then breaking to a new high once again. So don't be scared out. We're right at the cusp of that parabolic move. We're right at that level we need to break. And once we do, things will get very, very exciting and move very quickly. So stay strong, my friends. I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And it's going to be TC8 night tonight. All right? So have a good one.